still feel you shine, shine. So when you need to rest in the shade, just take your time, 'cause you still bring me joy. Oh, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Oh, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Oh, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Yes, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Oh, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Yes, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Yes, you bring me joy, joy, joy. Yes, you bring me joy, joy, joy. You bring me joy. Another new day, you're feeling dark gray. It's hard to let the light in. You know you can't hide, gotta go try. So let me help you begin. Just come and take my hand. You don't have to have a plan. You'll always have a friend in me. Any kind of road you travel on, anytime you feel you're all alone, I'll be here to help you through. I'll be here reminding you, you belong, you belong. I wanna know you, I wanna show you that you don't have to pretend. No need to think twice, together for life. Even if this world ends, just come and take my hand. We don't have to have a plan. You'll always have a friend in me. Any kind of road you travel on, anytime you feel you're all alone, I'll be here to help you through. I'll be here reminding you, you belong, you belong. Wherever you are, I'll be your North Star. Wherever you are, I'll never be too far. Any kind of road you travel on, anytime you feel you're all alone, I'll be here to help you through. I'll be here reminding you, you belong, you belong.
Hey everyone, how you doing this morning? Happy Sunday. You guys ready to worship the Lord? Lift our spirits up to Him. I was blind, now I'm seeing in color. I was dead, now I'm living. when I rise in the morning, when I rise in the morning, when I rise, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all of this world. Just give me Jesus. And when I am alone, oh, when I am alone, oh, when I am alone, give me Jesus. Let's sing that again. And when I am alone.
Um, and it's good to see everybody. I told Jane the toughest time in church to me is always kind of the heat of summer. It's just a tough time. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to come, but thank y'all for being here and being a part of the service. Couple of things. One, next week, we're going to do something a little different. We've done it a few times and we love it. We're going to do a field trip on Sunday morning. We're going to go to Ebenezer Baptist Church. Many of you know that's the church Dr. King was associated with, was the pastor there. His dad was the longtime pastor there. We've had wonderful times going there. And so next Sunday we will go, and it's lovely. We'll go find a good place to eat in town. If you need a ride, let us know. We can meet here early and drive from here. But we'd love for as many people to go with us to Ebenezer, especially on a 4th of July weekend. We think it'll be really exciting and really good. And Raphael Warnock is not Ray Waters, but he's a pretty good preacher. I mean, he's like, no, he's like one of the best preachers in the world. So you will really get a great sermon. I hope he's there next week. I'm thinking with it being 4th of July. I also wanted to say prayer request, as always, people are dealing with things. We had 2 people in our church that are very precious whose ex-husbands are dealing with some incredible health challenges. That's very frightening, and just they love prayer for their spouse, former spouse. So we want to pray for them. Dusty's having eye surgery on Thursday, so we want to pray for Dusty. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Lee's healing from neurosurgery. Joe Carr is up in Virginia, and he had a fall yesterday in Virginia. He's okay, we think. And last night it was all looking like he was going to be okay, but he did have a fall, and so pray for him. And there's Sarah Owens is still recuperating. A sense of understanding a little bit better who we are in this world that you have created and how you want us to move through this world. I sat in a room in Laguna Beach, California for 3 days that I still have not fully processed. The gathering was built around 2 teachers. Rob Bell, look him up if you don't know him. He's a former pastor, one of the most gifted communicators and thinkers I have ever encountered in my life. Had the chance to be. to destroy everything sacred in the world. What? How? like the argument we have already lost patience with, not people, trees. And what undoes me about this story is not the miracle, it's the patience that Jesus, he doesn't shame the man with blurry vision or hand him a corrective program. He touches him again. That's the kind of seeing that I want all of us to have, that seeing where we begin to see people more clearly. We begin to see them with more empathy from our hearts. We begin to see them more the way I believe God sees all of us. So, over the next few weeks, I'm going to introduce you a new way of thinking that helped me understand something I had felt for years but could not quite explain it. It's called spiral dynamics. Don't let the phrase scare you. We're not going to turn Sunday morning and Bell didn't use this term, but this is a good term. If you've ever had a phone update, you know what happens. The hardware looks the same buttons, but something underneath has changed. The operating system is different. Now the same command maybe is not going to produce the same result. And for those of us our age, this is baffling to us on the upgrades. It's like, we just learned the last one, and now they have changed it on us. Well, human beings are like that. Same family, same Bible, same Thanksgiving table, but many are on different operating systems, and they are seeing the world entirely differently. This is where spiral dynamics can be helpful. It says that different stages of human development are organized around different core questions. Think of it as a series of rooms human beings move through individually and as families, churches, cultures. Each room has its own logic, its own fears, its own definition of what it means to be safe, to belong, to be successful, to be good. And nobody moves into a new room until the pressure of the old room is so great they have to move into a new room. You don't leave a room because somebody argued you out of the room. You leave the room because life pushed you through the door, which means every room somebody is standing in made complete sense given the life that put them there. Here's something that might help you put it into perspective. If you go back as far as human history allows, for most of that vast stretch of time, people shared essentially the same operating system. They saw the world through the same set of eyes, the same values, the same fears. Imagine almost prehistoric man. Imagine them looking around and what they feared. And life was about getting that catch so they could eat for another few days, or finding those berries that they could eat, but everything was geared by that. That was the operating system. But at some point, slowly over generations, something began to shift. There was a new way of understanding the world that started to emerge. And you can imagine what it felt like to those people that felt very comfortable with their primitive understanding of how things were. Some people were moving towards a new operating system, while some were holding tight to the only operating system they had ever known. And in between those two groups, there was tension. There was confusion. There was a feeling that the world was coming apart, that something precious was being lost, that something necessary was being resisted. Imagine the earliest human communities, small bands of people huddled together on a vast and dangerous planet. They had no maps, no medicine, no explanation for why the thunder came, or why the river flooded, or why people got sick. And sometimes people got sick and died, sometimes they didn't die. Life was raw, and it was terrifying, and it was short. And the operating system that emerged made complete sense given all of that. Stay close to the group. Honor the spirits. Follow the rituals. Don't wander too far from the fire. The world is alive and it's dangerous, and we survive together or we don't survive at all. And then one day, somebody, let's just call him Gerald, starts to notice something. He notices that the tribe always moves camp when the elder tells him the Spirit demanded them to move. But Gerald has been quietly watching, and what he noticed was that the spirits seemed to demand a move right around the same time that the berries ran out. Every single time. He's beginning to put this together. Gerald mentions this to his friends, and his friends tell him, be quiet before the older elder hears you. But Gerald couldn't stop thinking about it. And slowly, quietly, a few others start thinking like Gerald. They start asking questions. They start wondering if maybe they had a little more agency over their lives than the spirits. They were believing that the spirits had given them. And the elder saw what was happening, and he was not thrilled, because to the elder, this wasn't curiosity. This man was introducing chaos. You're introducing a whole new way of understanding things. This could be the demise of our entire civilization. This was the unraveling of everything that had kept us alive. And he wasn't wrong. That system had kept them alive. But Gerald wasn't wrong either. He was seeing something afresh, and he was saying, maybe it's a different, maybe we need to think about it a little differently. But can you see the tension between those two groups? That's where we live right now. That's where we live. Thousands of years in the future, many different iterations of rooms people have moved in to help them understand the universe. We're going to talk about that next week. I think you'll be able to see it. It's incredible. People still living at all of these different places too, by the way, still. But we definitely are in a transition where a group has moved on. And there's a group here that's saying, what are you doing? This is the way we need to hang on to stuff. And we're way over here. And that's where the tension comes from. Each time a new way of seeing the world emerges, the same tension plays out between those moving forward to those that are holding on. That is the spiral that we'll be talking about. And here's why this matters for us right now in this room. We are living in one of those transition periods. Some people don't live in a transition period. Some people come along, and for 200 years, it's kind of the same. Everybody kind of sees the world and the way the world operates in basically the same understanding. Not us, not now. We are in a time when it is moving faster than it has ever been, and there is a significant group of people, used to be 70, 80%, now it's getting less and less, and there is a group emerging, and that's where the tension is. Gerald's tribe never resolved those tensions. They just couldn't live inside them anymore. Some people moved into new rooms. Some people decided to stay in the old rooms. But the spiral keeps moving. And if you want to know where we are right now, if you want to understand why your Thanksgiving table feels sometimes like a hostage negotiation, and why your Facebook feed sometimes looks like two different planets people are living on, it's because of that. We are Gerald's tribe right now. We are the tribe that is moving out and saying that way of doing things was good for when it was, but we are seeing something different. We are seeing something, and it's happened before. This is not like some crazy something that's never happened. It's happened before, but that tension of what's happening right now, it makes perfect sense. There's a room that shaped most of Western culture for centuries. It was organized around order. That was it. Around authority, around absolute truth handed down from a source higher than any individual opinion, around the deep conviction that there are rules given by God or by nature or by tradition, and that those rules are what holds everything together, and people are very ingrained in that sense. We're standing in that room. The most terrifying thing in the world is watching those rules get questioned. Don't question the rules. The rules are what keeps us safe. Doesn't feel like a debate. It feels like when somebody questions it, the walls are about to come down. And then there is a room that has been emerging slowly at first and faster over the last several decades. It's organized around things like inclusion, around the question of, sorry, I just dribbled from that, around the question of who has been left out, around the conviction that the old rules weren't handed down from God so much as they were written by people who were already in charge. When you're standing in that room, the most baffling thing in the world is watching people defend a system that has caused so much harm. Isn't that something we look back and say, that system caused so much harm? Can't you see that? And they can't, because it's the room that they have found their life in. They've not stepped into that next space. So to them, this is life. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's like they are tearing everything down. It's a tension that has happened before. It's happening now. Two rooms, two perfectly coherent ways of seeing the world, two groups of people absolutely convinced that the other side is either naive or cruel. And both of them, if we're honest, are only seeing part of the picture. That's not an insult to either side. It's just the nature of standing in a room. When you're inside it, the room feels like reality itself. Sometimes it takes something like a crisis to help you realize, no, we're all in this together. And that's what happens. If a crisis happens, a 9/11 kind of a thing, suddenly we all figure out we're in the crisis together and we can hold hands. But barring a crisis, we are in two different worlds and we don't understand. Even though we're the ones, the understanding is primarily for us, those who feel like we have moved into the new room, we're the ones who have to look back with understanding. They don't get it yet. It is as foreign to them as anything. Until they're pushed out of that room, it is crazy to them. We're the ones that have to make it make sense. They're not stupid, malicious, or simply behind. They are standing in a room that makes sense to them. And they're watching the world shift around them and wondering what is being lost in all of this. That's the conflict we are living inside, and it's not new. It has happened before. Every time the spiral has moved, somebody has grieved what was changing, and somebody was straining towards what was just on the horizon. That's exactly where we are. I'll give you a simple little example. Years ago, my family recorded an album in a studio in North Georgia. My son Ray and I had to drive back up to the studio to finish up a few things, overdubs and some of the little adjustments that needed to be made. Kind of work that takes all day that you don't even think about when a record is being done. But by the time we wrapped up, the day was gone. The piano player asked if we could spend some time together. I was so naive. I was so stupid. I thought he was impressed with my singing and wanted to see if I would do some recording with him at some point. That's how crazy I was. What followed was so not that. He told me, I have seen your Facebook page, and he could not imagine how someone who believed what I believed could call himself a preacher or a Christian. Well, that just blew my mind. I thought we were going to talk about what a great bass singer I was, and it's like, that was not what I was expecting. But I didn't want to fight him. I wanted to understand him, so I started asking him questions. And what I noticed was that he wasn't particularly fluent in all kind of things, constitutional law or political theory. He wasn't super intellectual on any of those things. He wasn't making a sophisticated argument about the relationship between church and state. He kept coming back to things like, you can't even put a nativity scene up in the town square anymore, on the courthouse lawn. That was it. He was really bent out of shape, and it was that seemed like such a nothing to me. But as we were talking, something in me shifted. I realized that man grew up in a world where white Christians were the majority of everything that mattered. That was the majority. That's what they made the decisions, made the rules. You could pray at any public gathering and nobody blinked. The nativity scene on the courthouse lawn wasn't a political statement. It was just December. It was just the way life works. You put the nativity scene up in the courthouse square in December. That's what December is supposed to be. It's just the way things are. It was just order. It was safety. It was home. And then the world started changing for him. Nobody asked him. And places like Fox News and 100 other voices were there every single night to tell him what he was feeling was right. He should be afraid. He should be scared. Something sacred was being stolen from him, that the walls were coming down, that people like him were being erased. So here, an uneducated man is processing life, and the room that he has only known his whole life is now feeling like it is coming down. Can you understand why he would have trouble when we talk about some of the things that we talk about? It's like, that's not where he doesn't have any place to process that. He just knows what he knew every year since I was a little boy. We went to town square, we saw the nativity scene. Now they're saying that's wrong. Why is that wrong? He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. So when I tried to explain why a diverse, multicultural society might want to keep religious symbols off of public property, I wasn't making a legal argument. I was without meaning to threatening the last few things that still made the world feel like home to him. We were not having the same conversation. Ray was mesmerized. My son Ray is like just mesmerized that we were in such different places. That man, though, wasn't crazy. That man wasn't stupid. That man was standing in a room that had been his whole world for 60 plus years. And he was watching somebody take the furniture out, and he didn't understand. Now, I didn't change his mind one bit. He did wish me a happy birthday this couple of weeks ago, so at least I'm still on that list, so that's good. But something happened in that studio that I have thought about a lot since. I stopped seeing him as someone who needed to be corrected, and I started seeing him as someone who was afraid. And that helped me. That's what this spiral dynamics map gives you the potential to see, is to see people and say, that's why they think that way. By the way, spiral dynamics is taught in the State Department, at the State Department level, because people going into foreign countries need to understand, if you're going into the Middle East and you're going to be dealing with Iran, or you're going to be dealing with Saudi Arabia, you're going to be dealing with places like that, it is super important to know where they are on the spiral, how they process things. It is not the same as liberal Americans in the 21st century. It's not the same, and understanding the spiral is very helpful, and they have found that that's something that it's a good way to understand it. That's what the map can do. Not to win the argument. Please know the next 2 or 3 weeks that we're together, it's not going to be to give us the information so we can win the argument, we can knock the fundamentalist out. It's so we can hopefully have, well, Terry says I'm out. I wanted to get I saw that instantly. It's like, dang it, I wanted to knock the fundamentalist out. But it's not going to be that. It's going to be so we have some compassion in our hearts. So we, who have had the touch of Jesus, recognize there's still some places we see people like trees. We see them like a policy issue that they're on the wrong side of, in our opinion, or we see them like prehistoric people with just stupid thoughts, and it's like they can't be that blind to reality. It's going to help us hopefully see them more clearly. So the next time a conversation starts to go sideways, before we defend ourselves, or before we send them the article, or before we raise our voice, or we decide the person across from you is hopeless, we're going to ask ourselves some questions. For example, what value might this person be protecting? Safety, belonging, tradition, freedom, justice? Or another question, what fear might be underneath their reaction? Is there fear of chaos? Is there a fear of rejection? Is there fear of being wrong? Is there a fear of being erased? Or third, what would love sound like in a language that they can understand? What would love sound like in a language they can understand? We've talked before about something, it's a silly little thing, but it's called love languages. Are y'all familiar with love languages? It's helpful. That everybody's got a love language. Many have 2, 3 love languages. And how in love relationships, if your partner's love language is Ukrainian and you only know how to speak broken English, y'all aren't going to connect. If their physical touch is their love language, and you have none of that, but you have quality time, but you're not willing to touch, then you're going to be misconnecting. Same thing, you're going to understand they have a language that needs to be spoken. How can we find the language to be able to reach them. Quickly, let's go back to the story of Jesus in Bethsaida for a moment. Jesus touches him, and the man opens his eyes, and he says, I see people, but they look like trees. He's not blind anymore. Something real has happened. He's received a touch from the Lord. He can see, but it's not clear yet. And here's what gets me every time. Jesus doesn't shame him. He doesn't say, what's wrong with you? I touched you. Why aren't you seeing correctly? He just touches him again. And I think that's partly what this series could be for us. A second touch where we say, I get it. Because more than anything, don't you want to be loving all the time? Don't you want to be able to see through the eyes of love? Doesn't mean that you can't have difficult conversations, that you can't fight for what's wrong, that you can't stand up for the underserved or those who are marginalized. All those things are a part of our life, but that we do it from love. And people sometimes say, Ray, the way you handle stuff on Facebook or whatever, listen, I struggle all the time with seeing it initially through the eyes of love. My first response is almost never that, but I want it to be that. I want to be that enlightened so I can see people through the eyes of love every single time. But we still see people like trees sometimes. We see them as positions before we see them as persons. We see them as problems before we see them as human beings. We see them as threats before we see them as the beloved. And they are the beloved too. We are the beloved, they are the beloved. And sometimes that's hard for us to grasp, but they are. So spiral dynamics didn't fix that in me. 10 years of thinking about it didn't fix it in me. 3 days in Laguna Beach with Rob Bell and Richard Rohr didn't fix it, but it did help me see more honestly. It helped me look at someone I had written off and ask, what are they seeing through? What lens are they seeing through? What question are they trying to answer? What are they protecting that at once in their life felt like it was keeping them safe? What are they dealing with? And something in me softened. Not because I agreed with them, not because I stopped believing what I believe, but because I stopped mistaking my partial vision for the fullness of reality. That's all the series is going to try to do. Just give you a ladder to climb, not to give you a ladder to climb up above everybody, but to give you a way to see people, really see people. So I'm just going to be praying today that we have that second touch from the Lord that says, yeah, let's learn this spiral dynamics vision to be able to understand. There's all kind of cool stuff. I can't wait. Some of the cool stuff. We all revert back to previous parts of the spiral. When people are in addiction and they're living on the streets, they are operating in that initial first system that people, that survival, that's where they go back to. All of us, we will go up and down the spiral depending on the circumstance we are in. That's going to be real informative. And the idea is to transcend and include. That's going to be a big line. Transcend and include. Don't write off. It's so easy to say, God, we used to be in that room. That's the stupidest room in the world. Have y'all noticed how stupid that room is? Well, we were just in it. We were living in it. Our parents lived in it. Everybody that we knew lived in it. We just now are seeing things a little differently. So don't write it off. Transcend it and include it. Include those things that are helpful to you. Include them. Transcend and include. All right, that's enough. It wasn't awful today. It'll get better. It'll get better. I promise. And Neil's going to have slides for us the next time we gather. It's going to get better. Well, let's just hush. Let me pray, all right? Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being with me for this one, all right? Maybe that's the prayer we carry out of here today. Just not complicated praying, just the prayer of a man who could see but not clearly yet. God, help us. Help us. So, Lord, touch our eyes again. Touch the way I see my family. Touch the way I see the people I have given up on. Touch the way I see the people who gave up on me. Touch the way I see the ones who stayed and the ones who left. Touch the way I see the people who believe differently, who vote differently, who live differently. And touch the way I see myself. Because the goal was never to see the whole spiral perfectly. The goal is to keep becoming the kind of person who is still willing to say, I see, but maybe I don't see clearly yet. I know, but maybe I don't know fully yet. I love, but maybe not wisely enough yet. God, touch our eyes again. Teach us to see clearly. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. I'm going to ask John if he'll come and sing a song we did a couple of weeks ago as a closing song. If you can pick up on it, sing it with him. It's a song about how we all are holy people.
Have you been told you're a sinner? Have you been made to believe that your life is some kind of problem that has to be fixed or redeemed? You can come out of your hiding and lift up your beautiful face. It's safe to take off disguises. Wherever you are is more than okay. 'Cause you are not a mistake. You are beloved. You are enough. You are accepted. Yes, you are loved. No separation. There's no divide. A perfect creation, fully alive. You are God's glory. You are holy. Oh, yes, you are. Now there is no condemnation. There never was, it's true. So let go of all hesitation. There's nothing to earn, nothing to lose. Oh, you have nothing to prove. 'Cause you are beloved, you are enough, you are accepted. Yes, you are loved. No separation, there's no divide. A perfect creation, fully alive. Yes, you are God's glory. You are holy. You are holy. We are the image of Almighty God. We are holy. And deep down inside, and we know we forgot, we are holy. We are the image of Almighty God. We are holy. And we down the road, somehow we forgot we are holy. Yes, we're beloved. We are enough. We are accepted. Yes, we are loved. There's no separation. There's no divide. Perfect creation, fully alive. Yes, we are beloved. We are enough. Yes, we are accepted. Yes, we are loved. There's no separation. There's no divide. Perfect creation, fully alive. Yes, we are God's glory. We are holy. guys, are you going to